Liverpool's first black player, an iconic 61 mins and his place in Reds history. When you think of the architects of Liverpool's 6 European Cup wins, then Howard Gail isn't a name that immediately comes to mind. But it is very likely that without him it would only be 5. Born in Toxteth in 1958, Gail made his way through the Liverpool youth ranks and progressed to earning a professional contract with the Reds at the age of 19. Gail becoming the first black player to play for Liverpool was obviously something which caught the attention of the press, particularly as he was a local lad, and it soon became obvious that he was being looked at for more than just his football. "It was constantly in the press that I was the first black player to play for Liverpool," said Gail, via This Is Anfield. "It was a landmark as far as black people were concerned, and I was proud to represent the black community of Liverpool." Gail made his Reds debut as a substitute against Manchester City in October 1980, a 3-0 win at Main Road, but after returning to the reserves, he would then have to wait 6 months for his next appearance. Bob Paisley's side had drawn 0-0 at Anfield in the first leg of their European Cup semi-final with Bayern Munich, and in the midst of an injury crisis, and with extra substitutes allowed on the bench for European matches, Gail was named in the matchday squad for the trip to Germany, with Paisley viewing his pace on the wings as a useful alternative option. Just 9 minutes in, Liverpool suffered another injury, this time to Kenny Dalglish, and Paisley turned to Gail from the bench instead of the more experienced Jimmy Case or young Ian Rush, who was yet to make his Reds debut. With Bayern completely unaware of Gail's qualities, the unknown youngster set about the confused German defense, who simply couldn't handle his speed. Time and time again, Gail got Liverpool up the pitch with his direct running, as the change quickly became a masterstroke from Paisley, as Bayern's attempt to turn the screw were thwarted. It became clear to them that the only way they could stop Gail was by kicking him, and when the winger became frustrated with the constant challenges on him, he retaliated, picking up a booking. As the match entered the crucial final phase, Paisley began to worry that Gail could get sent off as he was being targeted by Bayern. He withdrew him for Case in the 70th minute of the match, with Gail having dazzled in his 61 minutes on the pitch. With Bayern tired, Ray Kennedy would soon grab a crucial away goal for Liverpool, and although Bayern equalized, it was the Reds who made their way through the final, where they would beat Real Madrid for their 3rd European crown. Gail was an unused substitute for the final and picked up a deserved winner's medal. The Bayern game would come to be Gail's finest hour at Liverpool, so much so that his 2016 book was entitled 61 Minutes in Munich. In it, the former winger who turned down an MBE for his services to show racism the red card in the same year, stating he couldn't accept as it would betray Africans who suffered under the British Empire, details just how hard it was to make it at Liverpool as the club's first black player, with one figure in particular looming large. Former captain Tommy Smith was coming towards the end of his Reds career when Gail's involvement with the first team was starting, but as he details in his book, Gail's paths would often cross with the intimidating figure nicknamed the Anfield Iron. Smith didn't hold back with his views on race and society and would repeatedly make comments to Gail in training, with the winger being forced to listen to this diatribe from a man he had previously idolized. "On a cold November morning, I'd had enough," writes Gail in his book. "I received the ball, controlled it, and lashed a shot towards goal. Tommy Smith was on the other team and it hit him on the leg. It clearly stung and some of the other players started laughing. I had a smile on my face as well. I saw it as karma." Tommy responded with a tirade of abuse. "It was black this, black that." The place went quiet. Everybody could hear it, including the staff. He was a legend. I was a nothing. Nobody said a word. I'd had enough of him, this bitter old man. So I went over and squared up, nose to nose. I looked at him dead in the eye. "You know what, Tommy? One night you'll be taking a pee at home, and I'll be there waiting for you with a baseball bat," I said, calmly. "And then we'll see what you've got to say." I wanted to start a fight with him. And then he walked away. I look back now and remember this moment as a real low point. I'd grown up loving Tommy Smith. He was a hero of Bill Shankly's team. But you only see the player, the legend, the hero. You don't know the person. From then on, he was no hero of mine. As a human being, Tommy Smith was a disappointment, a complete letdown. Graham Souness was the only one that came over in the immediate aftermath. "Well done, Howard," he said. "Tommy deserved that." Graham was a true leader. For weeks after the flashpoint with Tommy Smith, I waited for him to come back at me. Instead, he never spoke to me using racist language again. We have barely spoken since. The episode between us set the benchmark. Little comments may have been said behind my back, but never directly to my face. Other people at Liverpool knew that I wasn't afraid, that I'd take on anyone if I thought it was necessary. Gail is also quoted in Out of His Skin, Dave Hill's book about John Barnes' impact on English football, in which he puts Smith's attitude down to ignorance and noting the change in his behavior after the confrontation. Smith died in April 2019, with his Liverpool legacy divided between his wonderful abilities as a player and what we would later come to know. Gail's role as a Liverpool trailblazer will always live on though, with his impact far deeper than just 61 minutes in Munich.